In the war between copyright trolls and content creators, the copyright trolls are winning, without a doubt. The only way to put a stop to the copyright trolls' actions is for the viewers to take action. The content creators themselves are effectively powerless, both through risk involved to their revenue and income by losing their channel, and also that they simply just don't have the power to stop it. Because individual channels, no matter how big the subscriber base, 10 million, 100 million subscribers, won't matter against the system that's in place. The difference between taking something that's fair use and monetizing it is vastly different from taking someone's content and listing it on a third-party content ID platform. We're not going to mention any names today, but third-party content ID companies are allowing these copyright trolls to create various pieces of content, sometimes compilations, sometimes short clips of original content, and then list it on their services, allowing them to act as an enforcer on copyright when in fact the listing itself is fraudulent. Most of the time, the channels that are doing this are part of a multi-channel network. And you can see proof of that in the way that they word their descriptions and the channels that they suggest you visit. These organized MCNs are stealing content from original creators and then using the content ID third-party system, not YouTube. They're using third-party entities to list this content as their own and then copyright strike the actual creator of the content. Now, many people are saying YouTube's broken, so it's time to abandon the platform. And in effect, if you do that, you will be losing the war for sure, because they will come to whatever platform you're on, either now or later, and implement their content ID system, just like they've done on Facebook and just like they'll do on other platforms. You cannot escape this battle. There is no retreat. If you create content or you enjoy watching original content, you are obligated to do something about it. And what should you do? The channels have no power. The very act of agreeing to the end user license agreement or the community guidelines themselves effectively removes most of your legal actions. The only thing you're left to do is go against these individuals that are committing this copyright fraud in a court of law under copyright infringement laws. This becomes rather difficult when some of the entities are outside of the jurisdiction of enforcement, or when the third-party content ID system acts as though content creators are guilty until proven innocent, forcing you to provide numerous different forms of proof that the content is your own. And even at that point that they remove the copyright strike against you or the copyright claim against your original content, they will reapply or reinforce 3 to 6 months down the line the copyright violation, because they won't effectively be able to stop another entity from listing the video again. It's a war of attrition. An individual content creator has no power in such a situation. You don't have the strength to go against multiple different channels that are organized to take advantage of the content ID system. How do you fight this fight? Unfortunately, through legal action, it's more than likely too expensive as an individual. Class action lawsuits are difficult to organize. The community on YouTube, when a content creator goes out of their way to claim that they want their content to be their own or that they are upset about things as far as revenue goes, the community itself tends to be divided. Some people will support the content creator, and some people will look at the content creator as a bottom feeder, a money grubber, greedy. And those very same people will watch the content that creator has had to take down on another channel that basically claimed the content as their own. So in other words, you'll watch the content someplace else, therefore generating revenue for that person and giving them a reward. And in some cases, the only action is to sign some form of petition and then submit that petition in the same state as the third-party content ID entity in whatever country that company may be in. It'll take the users on YouTube to actually fight this battle and win the war. The content creators don't really have the power. It would take a substantial amount of major YouTube influencers and more than likely some agreement with the media to bring this to public and then essentially threaten ad revenue at some point, which was a very, very risky situation for them. You don't know how YouTube's going to react. They could do the right thing and change the way that copyright ID systems work, basically making it so the burden of proof is on the person who is the copyright troll and punishing them mercilessly. But the reality is, in the current situation, the content creator is powerless and usually will give up, and in some cases threaten to leave YouTube. But like I said in the beginning of this, there is no retreat. Because if you don't fight on YouTube, if you don't fight this situation on YouTube, it's going to come to whatever platform you're on. And people will say, well, it won't go here, it won't go there. Eventually it will go everywhere. Because these third-party content ID companies are the fastest growing companies in the world. The second fastest company as far as marketing media is a content ID company that flags original content creators for violating their content by allowing copyright trolls to list the content as their own. That's the second largest company as far as media marketing goes and media management, copyright management. That company is one of the biggest enablers of copyright trolls. Now, I'm not going to state who these companies are because I don't want to go there today. But my answer is this. If you're that upset about your favorite content creators struggling to keep content uploaded, sometimes years after the fact they get flagged, and the copyright, or the content creator that is, doesn't seem to understand what's going on. Why am I getting flagged all of a sudden? That's because someone took a segment of your content, created some sort of video that they've listed with these services. So they're copyright trolling you. That's why specific segments of a video that have no music, mind you. Of course, if music violations are a completely different thing. I'm talking about original content creation, original creations being flagged after they've been uploaded. More than likely has to do with these multi-channel networks of copyright trolls working with third-party content ID to leverage YouTube's copyright strike system against you. And you can't escape this by going to another platform. And if you care about original content and you like to watch something that's original rather than the same compilation videos over and over again, people always ask, why do I see the same compilations or the same segments of video in these compilations? It's because they're copyright trolling, they're leveraging, they're basically working together to generate revenue. That's why. They go to Instagram and take content. They go to sites outside the US to grab content that's unlicensed. You cannot list, according to copyright ID systems, you cannot list unlicensed content by simply claiming it as your own. You're not allowed to do that. And what these multi-channel networks are doing is definitely illegal. The question is what are you going to do about it? So far, everybody's doing nothing. They take their content down. They threaten to leave YouTube. The actual users on YouTube, the viewers, get angry with content creators that complain too loudly. It gets tiresome when someone's channel is at risk. You're not the one who had to put the content up, spend the hours editing it. So naturally, I understand when a content creator is angry. And it's really up to the viewers and the subscribers of that content creator or that channel to support them by doing something in the form of either a petition, an action group. You're going to have to leverage the numbers, contact the media, and get attention on this subject. I'm sure advertisers would be interested to know that the very action of advertising on these channels is helping to further enforce the theft of copyrighted material from original content creators. In the war between the copyright trolls and the content creators are effectively the hapless farmers cultivating their content, trying to grow their channel. The copyright trolls are a relentless horde coming to raid their farms and consume all of the fruits of their labor, utilizing the machine gun that is the content ID system provided by the third-party content ID entities who are effectively the arms dealers, with YouTube sitting back and collecting all the revenue because they're the ones who invented the gunpowder.